Once upon a time, there was a sad, lonely girl. She had no friends and no family and lived a sad, lonely life at a foster home. She wanted friends, but was too shy and anxious to approach anyone. She believed her life would be nothing but loneliness and misery. But one day, she was visited by an otherworldly helper who took the form of a bird. The helper gave her a magical pendant that can help grant her deepest wish. She accepted the pendant, and it gave her the ability of platonic charm. Those who would see her would become interested in her and have a small desire to befriend her. She tried the pendant out in school the next day, and immediately a group of students became interested in her. Soon, they became a close group of friends, something the girl wanted for so long. Their friendship grew and grew, and the girl was even adopted by one of the friends' family. She was so happy and felt like her life would be filled with love and friendship. Life was perfect. But one day, she noticed that her friends would sometimes hang out with other people and even befriend other people. To most people, it is perfectly normal for friends to have other friends, but to the girl, she did not like it and immediately grew jealous. Feeling that she may get replaced or become a disposable friend, she tried to use the pendant's ability on the other friends, but it did not work. She went to the helper, asking him to give her pendant more power. He had tried to suggest other ways she could solve her problem, but she instead begged him for more power. Hesitant but feeling sorry for the girl, he granted her more power in the pendant. The girl was happy, but the helper felt concerned. The next day, the girl noticed that many people were interested in being her friend. The girl accepted these people, but soon realized that the whole school was charmed by her. Everyone wanted to be her friend, and her popularity grew and grew in such a short amount of time. She went from being the loneliest girl to being the #1 most popular girl in the whole world. It was overwhelming to her at first, but with how friendly, kind, and giving people were to her, she quickly accepted her newfound popularity. She became more content and happy. Perhaps a bit too happy. Greedily happy. She grew to love the attention and gifts people gave her. The more popular she got, the more gifts she got, and the more luxurious the gifts became. She grew to love these gifts so much. In fact, it became something that she would expect when she met new friends. She also met friends who had skills and talents that benefited her. Even though everyone saw her as a friend, not everyone she saw was her best friend. She started ranking people's friendships with her based on usefulness, status, and benefits. People who were rich, had amazing skills, or had power would be her best friends. Meanwhile, people who had none of those were ranked as her loser friends. She also made it very clear to them that they were her loser friends and that they needed to change themselves if they wanted to rank up as better friends. Since everyone was under her pendant's charm, they wanted nothing more than to become better friends for her. Sometimes, these friends, who weren't as influenced by the pendant as others, would tell her honest things, like not liking what she said or crossing their personal boundaries. She would retaliate by scolding them and even hitting them for talking back at her. She would tell them they were no place to talk back at her and that they should unconditionally love her and please her no matter what. She would then force the pendant's charm to increase its effect on those people, forcing them to be absolutely devoted to her. Her desires affected the pendant to the point where the charm turned into a manipulating spell. People were practically brainwashed into friendships with her. She loved this power and had no desire to stop it anytime soon. Her popularity would turn her from a humble, sweet girl into a greedy, manipulating dictator who brainwashed the world into her fingertips. The otherworldly helper began to notice this and confronted her. He told her that she can't keep doing this, and this is not how her dream should have turned out. When he tried to get the pendant back, she attacked him and trapped him in a cage. She laughed at him, stating that the pendant is her property and will not return it back. The helper was disappointed in the girl and disappeared from his cage when she wasn't looking. Later on, the girl and her brainwashed friends created a huge monument in her liking. She climbed up the monument and prepared a speech for everyone. But at that moment, the helper showed up, this time with other helpers at his side. They confronted the girl, saying she abused the powers given to her and they must take her pendant away. She tried to attack them, but thanks to their magic, they ambushed her and grabbed her pendant. While the girl struggled to get up, the otherworldly helpers began preparing a spell. The bird helper told her that the spell would erase her and everyone's memories, and that things would revert back to how they were before she received the pendant. Realizing she would go back to her miserable, lonely life, she gained inner strength to get up and jump towards one of the helpers. She successfully attacked them and grabbed the pendant. However, she realized that the momentum of her jump made her jump off the balcony of the monument. As she fell, she tried desperately to channel the power of the pendant, hoping it would get her friends to save her. But just when she was about to channel the power, her own monument betrayed her. She felt her life slipping away. She struggled to stay alive. All she could feel at the moment was despair. Despair that it was over, that it all came to this, that it was all the end. And yet, she also refused. She despairingly refused to believe it was all over. In her final struggle, her last words were, "It's not over." The otherworldly helper looked down in sadness. They didn't intend for this to end. The bird helper felt incredible sadness and remorse. He felt failure on his end. He felt he could have done better to prevent all this. They comforted him while taking the pendant back from the girl. The pendant's corrupted light had faded away and was now a pitch dark jewel. The otherworldly helpers casted their spell, erasing everyone's memories and reverting everything back to how it was before. They buried the girl in a cemetery where no one on the planet would ever mourn for her and no one ever knew about her. She started off as a nobody and died as one too. Since then, the pendant was taken back to the otherworldly helpers in their realm. The pendant would then be cleansed of any dark energies and would eventually be used for another person in need. Hopefully the pendant is in a much better place. After all, it would be a shame if it had some kind of curse in it or something. That would be silly. Speaking of the pendant, to end on a good note, apparently there's an otherworldly helper who made a huge discovery on his research recently. Something about him finally finding the right spell to get rid of a curse or something like that. Honestly, I don't really keep up with these tales a lot.